Hey folks, hope you're doing fine, hope you're enjoying your weekend. I thought it wouldn't be nice for once to look at something else than Bitcoin, and today we are going to look at gold and what can we expect maybe for a move to the upside. I also collected some historical data and actually it looks pretty promising. If you like the content, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are also in the description. Without further ado, let's start diving in. As I said, today we're going to look at gold, and this is the chart for gold on the weekly. So every candle is a representation of 1 week. So there's a pretty big time frame. And let's first address the elephant in the room, and that is that we had this triple high. This first high has been put in August of 2020, and then we had a high at exactly the same level, March 2022. And then this year in May 2023 we again tapped that high, but we were unable to break it. This one was a little bit higher than the previous ones, and therefore it is a swing filled pattern. But actually this looks very weird as an absolute topping sign, and with everything that's going on with inflation, the government's printing money, maybe a recession, I think there's a case to be made that we are going higher. But what can we expect? What are the new highs? Because right now the highest price ever measured was this high right here, which is 2081 per ounce of gold. And what kind of targets are that? I drew in this yellow line, as you can see, and that is the yearly open. 1823, that is where we started off the year, and all the way to the high that we made so far was 14%. So pretty good move so far, and now we actually came down already quite a lot. So now the yearly gain is quote unquote only 6%. Is that a lot or not? That is the question. Well, if we are going to look at the average return in the last 10 years for gold, then you can see that that was only 0.92%, so shy of 1% return in the last 10 years. So that's actually pretty bad, even compared to crypto, stocks, you name it. Actually really underperformed. Then you would say, why would I invest in gold if it doesn't even give me more than 1% return if the inflation is already 10% or higher? Well, if we're looking at the long-term average, so we're then counting from 1971 when the dollar became unlinked of gold. That's a major pivot point in the history when it comes down to economics. And then measured until 2019, the average return was 10.6%. And I always like to look at this data because then I can kind of understand, get a feeling of, okay, where are we then measured over that longer period of time? Are we under or above that average? And if I'm now looking at the gold price here in the return in the last, since the 70s, so that's 50 years, then you can see that in the 70s we had a major return on gold year on year, 6%, 16, 48, 73, 67. What was going on there? That was the last period of time that we also had a super high inflation, just like the period of time where we are in right now. And the chairman of the central bank in the United States at that time was Volcker, and he was the one who said there's only one thing we can do. We need to rise the interest rates. We are going to land into a recession, but we need to do this to get the inflation down. And therefore we eventually also had a recession throughout the United States, throughout Europe, and therefore gold functioned as a safe haven, and you got this way above average return on gold. And gold miners at the time, they usually trade with a leverage of 3 to 5 compared to the gold price. So if gold price goes up 1%, these miners go up 3 to 5%. Imagine that if you then had a 50% run up on gold, some of these gold miners, they went 100, 2, 3, 400%, and eventually in the entire bull run, believe it or not, there were gold stocks that even went up 10,000% from the beginning to the end. So major run up. Now let's fast forward to the period of time where we are right now, and then you can see it actually has been pretty shaky. We so far this year have 6%, but last year it was a minus. The year before it was also a minus. Yes, in 2020 we had a good year, 2019 as well, but then we did not have the high inflation yet spiking up. So it's kind of weird that we have 2 times a negative return, although inflation in 21 and 22 was already there, and kind of picking up in 21, full on in 22, and now we're trying to kill it, or at least bring it down in 23, that gold is not really moving. So with that being said, knowing that we still have inflation, that we still have a long way to go, because if you know it or not, it's actually quite funny. In New York and Wall Street, they have a saying that is, inflation is like toothpaste. Once it's out, it is damn hard to get it back in. And that's exactly the period of time where we are in right now. I think it will take still maybe a year, 2, 3 years to get this completely under control. That will be then the time and the moment for gold to really pick up pace and to go higher. So then to still respect that average long-term return of approximately 10%, but knowing that we only did 1%, shy of 1% in the last 10 years, that means that we need to have a higher than average return in the next couple of years just to respect that 10%. And what I'm then looking out for this year, well, at least a run back up to the 280, then eventually $2,200. That will be approximately 20%. That is, I think, a very, very nice return. There are analysts that are looking even at 2,500 to 3,000. Well, let's be honest, we already had half a year on the calendar. I don't think that we are going to reverse that fast and then just move up that fast. But if inflation is more sticky than we think and suddenly it spikes back up, then I do think that gold will have this massive run, this massive move back to the upside. If we hit $2,200, I'm definitely taking profit on my gold and silver stocks. Those usually move together. You can kind of compare them to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm definitely taking a profit there because let's be honest, we do not know how the economy in the world looks like in a few years from now. So it would maybe be a little bit arrogant to say I'm going to hold this for the next 5 years, because in the next 5 years we're going to double or triple. You just don't know. So it would be wise to take some profit off the table. But if I'm then looking at the chart, knowing that we put in very weird highs, this triple top, knowing that we still have inflation, knowing that we are underperforming now in the long-term average, knowing that during inflation gold is still a safe haven, although it might react relatively slow, can take years eventually for this above average return to play out, then I'm saying, you know what, I'm staying bullish on the gold case, and my first now bigger target is to take out these highs and go all the way up to $2,200. I'm very curious what you guys think. Do you think it's too ambitious? Am I maybe too cautious? Do you think gold is going to die out? Are we maybe topped out? I'm really curious. Let me know in the comments. And if you're down there anyways, then please do me a favor by liking, subscribing, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss any future notifications. And also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I post there pretty much daily. You can also find those links in the description. Without further ado, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.